Most people wouldn't believe it, but there are mornings in Vermont when a simple snowblower can spark a full-blown neighborhood war. 5 a.m. Middle of November, northern Vermont sky, still black, the world silent, except for the hum of my Honda snowblower. And just like that, my so-called early bird work ethic lands me smack in the middle of a fight with the Pinewood Heights Homeowners Association. Ridiculous, right? I always figured if I got into trouble out here, it'd be over a stray dog or a busted fence, not because I was clearing a little snow. Name's Samuel O'Brien, and for the last 3 years, I've lived out here on the edge of Pinewood Heights, running a small landscaping and snow removal business from my property. When I bought the place, the setup seemed perfect. Here's the wild part: the only private road that links this whole subdivision to the main highway. That's mine, on paper in the deed. Just a little detail nobody cared about until suddenly everyone did. That first big snowstorm of the year came early, dumped about 8 inches overnight. By 4:30, I was up making coffee by 5. I was outside boots, crunching on fresh powder, firing up the snowblower. Now, it's not whisper quiet or anything, but I bought that Honda for a reason quieter than most rigs out there. 3 winters, never a single complaint, not once. Nearest neighbors 100 feet away. And most folks, they're happy to wake up to clear walkways, because after my driveway, I usually hit the access road for everyone else just to help out. I'm halfway down my dry breath steaming when my phone buzzes. It's barely 5:30. I check Brenda Patterson, the HOA president. She's the type you recognize from a mile away. Brisk walk, sharp haircut, probably born with a clipboard in hand. Her message is all caps, all business. Stop making noise before 7 a.m. Community standards, she says. I just stared at that phone a little bit in disbelief. Community standards, I'd read every line of those rules before buying. Not a word about snow removal hours. Besides, my property isn't even in the HOA, another detail I'd double-checked before signing. Still, I finish up, figure I'll deal with Brenda later. 6 a.m. driveway's clear. I start hooking up the plow to my truck for the access road. Now, from a legal point of view, this road is a real odd duck. It runs through my property for a quarter mile before the subdivision starts. When the place was built, the developer worked out an easement residents could pass through as long as the owner, now me, kept it maintained. That meant I was on the hook for maintenance, but I could also use it for my business, make my own reasonable rules. The town never adopted it, so the HOA, they had exactly zero say. Not that they didn't try. About a year after I moved in, they offered to buy. The road came at me with an amount so low I thought it was a prank. I declined. They seemed to let it go. Until Brenda decided to flex her imaginary muscles. That morning I'm plowing, and there she is standing at the entrance bathrobe under her big coat slippers already soaked. She waves me down like she's on the tarmac at JFK. I stop, roll down the window, cold air blasting in. "Morning, Brenda. What's going on?" She's glaring. "I sent you a text, Samuel. Did you not see it?" Her voice is all command, no room for argument. "Yeah, I saw it. I was a bit busy with the snow." She launches into HOA rules: quiet hours, no noise before 7 weekdays, 8 weekends. "You're in violation," she snaps. I keep calm, but the irritation's already brewing. "Brenda, my property isn't in the HOA. Your rules don't apply. Your actions affect our residents, so you need to comply. Multiple complaints about noise." She says it like she's speaking for the whole neighborhood. I try to reason. I've been doing this for 3 years. Never heard a single complaint. Most people are glad they can get to work. Her jaw tightens. "That's not the point. You're disturbing the peace. If you keep this up, we'll have to take action." I ask, "What kind of action?" Actually curious how far she's willing to go. She just says legal options and stomps back, slippers squelching. I shake my head, finish plowing. As I do, people drive by, wave, give me a thumbs up. So much for her multiple complaints. That afternoon, a formal letter lands in my inbox from the HOA's lawyer, no less. Same threats as Brenda, but now dressed up in legalese. "Cease all snow removal before 7 a.m. or face legal consequences." I forward it to Marcus, my attorney. He calls, chuckling, "Sam, they can't do a thing. You're not in the HOA. You're maintaining your own road." I let him know I want to see how this shakes out before firing off a response. The next morning, another 6 inches fall overnight. I wait till 7 per Brenda's rules. By the time I finish my own property, it's almost 8:30. I'm late for work and the access road stays buried. My phone blows up, residents are stuck. People are angry and confused. I tell everyone the truth, HOA rules Brenda's orders. That's when it turns into a circus. It keeps snowing. I keep waiting. And the road stays blocked. Folks start missing work, shoveling by hand, even carpooling out of my driveway. Brenda calls a meeting and floats the idea of a $500 special assessment per household for a private snow removal company. You could practically hear the outrage through the walls. Tom, my neighbor, calls later, half laughing. People did the math. Would cost less to just pay you, but Brenda says that'd reward bad behavior. Bad behavior in this case means me clearing snow for free before sunrise. Some neighbors are mad at Brenda, some at me. Then Angela Morrison, quiet woman from a few houses in Pops by my place. She listens, then sets to work, organizes a petition, knocks on doors, tells the real story. Within days, she's got 28 signatures, enough to trigger a recall election for Brenda. Suddenly, there's a twist in the story. Angela becomes the hero nobody saw coming. Meanwhile, I play by the book. Legally, I have to maintain the road, but nothing says how often. So I plow it once a week Sunday night just after quiet hours. Every storm makes things worse. Cars stuck, people mad. Brenda cornered. She starts slipping threatening notes under my door, accuses me of holding the community hostage. All I'm doing is following her demands to the letter. The big meeting happens at the community center. Its packed room split in two, some glaring at me, some giving little nods. Angela lays out every fact. Emails costs my schedule. Brenda's threats. Tom stands up. Name a single person who complained about Sam before this. Brenda stammers, talks about confidential complaints. The room erupts in laughter. Linda, the vice president, suggests a vote remove. Brenda, apologize to me. Return to my old snow schedule. Secret ballot results aren't even close. Brenda's out, Linda's in, and I get an apology and a handshake. For a while, it feels like justice, sweet and simple. I go back to my routine, early mornings, clear roads, neighbors happy. But that's when things get ugly. My truck's tires are slashed, mailbox yanked up, garbage dumped across my drive. I set up more cameras. Footage shows a figure in a dark coat car that looks a lot like Brenda's. Police come take notes but can't pin anything on her. She doesn't stop. Nails on the access road, snowblower tampered with, vandalism at every turn. Angela and Tom set up a neighborhood watch. Folks take shifts watching my property. The situation's straight out of a crime show, only with more snow and less glamour. Then comes the storm of the year, 2 feet in 36 hours. I'm out for 3 days straight, clearing properties, barely sleeping. I come home late, find the access road blocked by branches and debris. Finally, Brenda's caught on camera, face illuminated by her own headlamp, dragging limbs across the road. Cops haul her in. Charges include vandalism, obstruction, and risking the subdivision during a state of emergency. That was it. The fight was over. Brenda takes a plea, pays for damages, does community service, moves out of Pinewood Heights. Linda takes over the HOA board, actually does its job. People come together. Snow gets cleared, potlucks happen again, neighbors start acting like neighbors. I keep doing what I do. Early mornings, snowblower humming, sunrise, painting the sky over the Green Mountains. Residents wave, smile, sometimes drop off coffee or a note of thanks. The sense of community gets stronger, not weaker. Looking back, the whole thing feels surreal. All that fuss, all that pain over who got to decide when I could clear the snow. In the end, what really mattered was standing up for myself, even when it would have been easier to just go along. There were days I wanted to cave, to give up and let someone else handle the mess. But I stuck it out, and in the process, the whole neighborhood learned something about respect, about boundaries, about how authority means nothing without actual cooperation. A couple winters later, the story's local legend. The access road's just a road again. But now people appreciate the work that goes into keeping it clear. New folks move in, ask about the early morning snow guy, and Tom always chimes in, "Yeah, that's Sam. He saved the neighborhood from itself." Every once in a while, I wonder, where do you draw the line between rules and common sense? When does enforcing a policy cross into bullying? Is it better to go along for peace or dig in your heels and weather the storm, if you've ever tangled with an HOA or stood your ground for what's right? I'd like to hear your story. Drop a comment, Share your thoughts, because sometimes it's the smallest battles that teach us the most about community justice and just how far you're willing to go for a little peace and quiet at 5 a.m.